Hello, my fellow book enjoyers. I hope that your reading worlds are treating you just as well as mine are, and welcome back. So, I'm actually really excited for today's video, or I guess this week's video. I never know if I should say like today or this week, because for you guys, it's like, 20, 30, maybe 40 minutes, depending on how much I love the book, or books. And for me, it's literally like a week of time. But we are reading romance books today, if it wasn't completely obvious. I got this idea back in like January, like mid-January. I'm like, wow, I have a lot of romance books on my TBR, like my physical TBR that I have on hand. I want to read them. Let's make a video out of it. And then I'm like, oh my god, it's almost February. Why don't we save that for February? So this book has had some time to cook. It's been in the chamber for a while. And I'm very excited to finally be presenting to you. Wow. I am very excited to be presenting to you Paige's Romance Reads of 2024. February 2024. That's a bad title. Little behind the scenes, I have a very small pile of books here by me that I had previously picked out for this video. However, if you saw my TBR video, my current obsession is the library, and I just keep picking up more books. I haven't gone in January yet. So thank you. I know. It's a big step for me. It's a big step in recovery. I did pick up a couple of books on like February 1st of romance reads, because most of the romance reads that I have are either one series or they fall into the same like dark romance category, and I wanted more than just that. So I do have, I think, 5 books picked out, although I have like 6 or 7 romance books if we have extra time. Do you get what I'm saying? Like at the bare minimum, I think we're reading like 4 or 5 together, just depending on time wise, and maybe we'll read 6 or 7. And if not, the video that comes out next week is gonna have more romance reads in it, don't worry. But obviously, you guys saw the first book that we're starting with, which is Love at 350 by Leah. Who is it by? I don't even know. Lisa Peers, Love at 350. Oh gosh. I started this book last night. It is so cute. It is so darling. I am 85 pages in. I'm on chapter 9, and I don't read backs of books, you guys, but the pretty much basis of this book is that it's this cooking show called Bakorama, and Tori is a contestant on it, and then what's her name? Kendra is a judge on it, and they're gonna fall in love. Honestly, I saw this in the library and I'm like, are those two lesbians? Those are definitely lesbians. And that's why I picked it up, because I don't have a queer read in my romance reads, and that just felt wrong. So I made sure the gays are included. But I am loving this book so far. It's very cute, very sweet. I really don't have much to say about it. I knew going in this was going to be either a middle of the road romance or one that was going to be a little bit lower rated on my scale. I don't have any complaints. The only thing is that it's a little bit slow. I am so used to fast-paced fantasy that sitting down and reading a romance is really weird to me at times, and this is one of those times because I just got off like a 4-book series that was really high fantasy, and for me to now sit down with a low-key kind of slow burn of this is a little bit weird, and so far I ain't feeling the chemistry between these two. I mean, they're both gay, but I don't feel any clicks or clacks yet, but maybe I will. Anyway, those are my current thoughts on this. I do plan on finishing this tonight, which is what we're gonna go do now. Good day and good morning, wonderful romance reader enjoyers. So yesterday I continued to read Love at 350, and kind of what I said earlier still reigns true. It's very slow, and I personally don't feel any chemistry between the characters. Do I think they want to be friends and like sit down and have a conversation? Yeah, absolutely, right? Because the whole thing is that, oh, they can't be together because, one of them is the judge and the other one is a contestant. But like, it's not working for me personally, and I'm really disappointed that it's not. It's cute though. I like the characters. The characters are nice. I did debate whether or not I should DNF this because one book YouTuber that I watch is Sarah. Sarah and Destiny are like my go-to people, and Sarah recently said in one of her videos that she is not going to read any books that she thinks she'll rate lower than 3 stars because she wants to like enjoy her reading this year, which makes sense, you know, good for her. I don't think I'm gonna rate this higher than 3. I don't even know if it's going to get 3, but I just genuinely want to know what happens, which is why I did not DNF it, and I'm not going to DNF it. I literally only have 100 pages left, so I feel like DNFing it at this point would be kind of pointless, you know? With that being said though, I did find the audiobook of this on Spotify, and that is how I'm going to finish this today, is through an audiobook, because, I don't know, I know that's technically, it's like reading, but I have the physical copy. Doesn't that count? Oh no, it counts in my world. But we are going to finish up listening to this today, and I'm very excited to do so I'm gonna crochet while I finish the book. So that is what we are going to go do. I'm very excited. Let's dive into the wonderful world of Love at 350 once again. Good evening ish. It's 5 p.m. I don't know. I'm not good with time. So I finished this a couple hours ago, and I let myself sit with this book for a little bit longer than I normally would, not because I'm like, oh my god, I'm so torn on what to rate it, but I wanted to make sure that I sat with it because I want to like it more than I actually do. As I stated the last time we talked, it's literally a super cute, simple romance. I still don't feel any chemistry between these two characters, like romantic wise. I think they could make really good friends, but I don't know, maybe it was the writing. I don't know. Me no bueno. Very unfortunate because this is the one that I was looking forward to, but I have to move on with my life, and I'm hoping the next one will be better because I've heard really good things about this romance book, and I'm gonna cry if it's not. But I'm gonna give this a 2.5 out of 5. I think it was like kind of cute, but I didn't really like it. So let's move on to a book I didn't just drop on the floor. Our next read is going to be Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. This book took the TikTok world by storm almost, was it a year ago now? Like 9-10 months ago. And oh my god, I've yet to read it. I want to, which is what we're doing now. And I have very high expectations for this book. Everyone who has read Icebreaker that I have seen has loved it. It's been like, oh, my favorite hockey romance, what got me into sports romances, and I'm like, I'll try it. I'm very scared that I'm not gonna like it because all of the other books that I've been reading that have been recommended by social media I haven't liked, but I really hope this one is not the case because I adore the cover and I want to like it really bad. I am going to tab it, which I'm also very excited for. That also means it'll take us a little bit longer to read, but I want to read this and I want to tab it and I want to like this romance. So we are going to go read our second book, which is Icebreaker, and I'm really excited. Why did no one tell me? Y'all, Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. What took me so long to read this? So, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have not been reading this book very often. I'm only like 140 pages in. However, I got deathly ill for the past 2 days. All I've been able to do is sit and sleep because I've had a headache. So, I couldn't even pick up the book if I wanted to. You know, normally when I'm like have like a head cold, I can read. No, this one completely knocked me on my ass. But anyways, even though I was deathly ill last night, my headache finally went away, so I could sit down with this book, and I binge read the first 140 pages of it, which for me is a lot. Okay, it is, especially when I'm sick, and I was reading until like 3 a.m. I'm not even kidding you. I'm tabbing this book too. Like, if you look, you can see my highlights throughout the book, and because I'm tabbing it, it's taking me a little bit longer to get through, which I knew. But guys, I'm literally flying through these pages. I'm flying. I'm having the best time reading this book. I love the plot. The characters are fucking hilarious. I love the interactions between all of the characters, but just the interactions of Nate and Anastasia. Is it Anastasia or Anastasia? I don't know. But the interactions between the main couple are just, they're not a couple yet. Sorry. The main romantic interests. God, I love it. God, I love it. I literally love it. And previous to reading this myself, I have watched other people read this book and like heard what they have had to say about it. And something that I heard people say about this author is that she knows how to write men. And I'm like, what does that even mean? You know, because as far as the whole romance world goes, I am not that well versed. Like actual romance books that I've read, putting dark romance aside, because I read more of that than I would like to admit, like normal small town romance, stuff like that, I'm not well versed. I've read maybe 3, and in every single one of those, I'm always peeved with the man or with some character because they just do things that I'm like, this makes no sense. The biggest one being communication. These bitches do not know how to communicate, and because they just don't talk about shit. And I'm like, guys, just fucking talk about it. Like, most of the time I get it because it's for the book, right? To progress the book, they don't talk about it, so it's in like this limbo stage of a relationship. But I feel like there's better ways to put yourself in a limbo stage of a relationship rather than not talking. That aside, I now understand what people mean when they say Hannah Grace knows how to write men. She knows how to write men. Men, not boys, men. There is an issue that comes up in this book, and it's not like a super big issue, okay? It's literally just like them like defining a relationship, right? And the second this man gets the chance, he goes and he talks to her. He doesn't wait and be like, well, maybe she feels the same. No, this man goes and talks to her. And when I read that, I'm like, yeah, wow, this is how men should act. It's not even that, dude. That's just like one example. But like, I actually did not know this going in, but this book has quite a bit of spice in it. Like, I didn't know. I fully convinced myself by the cover that this was a YA book. It's not. Not a YA book. Not a YA book, guys. If young adult children, not, no, don't read that. Oh my god. Like, I didn't even realize it was like that much. You know, like I'm 140 pages in and so much has already happened. Like normally at this stage in a book, we're at like page 400 and we're about to end the novel. We're only 140 pages in, and that honestly makes me a little bit nervous. Like what's going to happen in the next 300 pages that is going to completely change the book? Cuz I'm like everything's happened. Like physical relationship wise, it's happened. I mean, I guess there's still a couple of questions like, you know, how is he gonna do in the hockey stuff and how is she gonna do in her figure skating competitions? But like romance relationship wise, I feel like they're in like a spot where they both know what they want. They both have these expectations of each other, and like nothing's really like kept to the imagination as far as what the relationship is. Like I'm just like, what's gonna happen? Because we have 300 pages left. Like literally, this is how much of the book we have left. What's gonna happen? You know, like something's gonna happen, and I don't know what it is. I'd also like to point out that normally this far into a book, I have not tabbed that much. It normally just looks like this, right? Like a couple highlights, mostly pen notes. But that quickly became not the case. I kid you not. I have to tell myself to stop highlighting things because I genuinely love it that much. Let me see if I can show you. Here, actually, I'll show you the page that I'm on. This is one page. Guys, what's happening to me? I'm in love. I'm in love with the characters. I'm in love with the banter. I'm fully enjoying myself. But yes, current thoughts. Love this book. I'm actually gonna try to finish it today. I don't know if we will. We might end up finishing it tomorrow morning. But we are gonna go binge read a whole bunch more of this and see how far we get. But let's go read some more of Icebreaker because I'm totally ready to dive back in and like I've been wanting to all day. You know a book is good when I post a quote on my Snapchat story. You know. Hello everyone and good following evening. I hope that you have had a wonderful 3 seconds since I've seen you last. It's been about 24 hours for me, so let me catch you up to speed. I remember last time we talked, I'm like, oh, I'm going to read another 100 pages. I in fact read another 80, not another 100, but it did get me exactly 50% of the way through the book. Yay! Now, at this percentage through the book, I actually have a lot of thoughts that I want to talk about that are not going to be spoilers, don't worry. This is 100% spoiler free, but I want to chat, okay? I want to chat. So do you remember how I said, oh, I feel like, you know, like this is normally when a story ends, like I'm kind of scared for what's going to happen? Yeah, didn't expect, well, that's a lie. I really don't know how I feel about what happened. I feel like it makes sense what happened and it's just like continuing the story, you know? And I'm not mad at it, you know? I like how they worked it out. I like how Anastasia, I'm so sorry, I don't know her name, and Nate are back on track again. If you It's a romance book, there's gonna be ups and downs. That's not a spoiler. And I love the communication of both of their parts. Some of the scenes between these characters is so endearing, and it's making me believe that like people can actually be in love like this, which is dangerous in today's society, because I don't think there's like, personally, I don't think there's that many great people out there who will do shit like this that happens in this book. But I genuinely am just fully enjoying myself, like this is I like this book. I really like this book. With that being said, we're at page like 220. We've got about 220 left, right? Because I'm 50% of the way through the book, give or take a couple pages. And I respectfully, why is it this long? Every romance that I have ever read in the past that has been just like a strictly romance book has been about 300 or less pages. So about 100 pages less than this or smaller, and maybe I'm too used to that going into this, but this feels more, I don't know how to describe it. It feels more storytelling and more friendship telling and more just like going through a year of college with these characters rather than just romance. And I like that, right? But going into it, I wasn't expecting that, so it's throwing me a little bit off guard. Kind of adding to that, it sometimes feels a little bit slow, which is kind of what's stopping me now. I've like briefly looked at some of the reviews on Goodreads just to see if anyone else has felt this way, and there's definitely some people who have DNF'd it at 50% and been like, hey, listen, like the characters, like the storyline, but I feel like this is just a little bit too long for my taste. And I'm like, girly boo boo, that is so real of you, and I'm almost in the same boat, but I like the characters enough to keep going. I just respectfully, for me personally, the book's a little too long, if that makes sense. Like, we're 50% of the way through and we've already solved most of like the mysteries in this book, or like it's not a mystery book, but like most of like the, oh, what happened here, like, oh no, what happened, we've kind of already solved most of that, and we've had like a couple like relationship bumps that I feel like it would be like pretty smooth sailing and it would just end within like the next 50 pages. But no, we still have 200 left, and what's gonna be in those pages, like, I don't know. I have debated whether or not I want to soft DNF this and put this on hold and like pick up a different romance really quickly and then hop back to this one, but I just don't think that I'd pick it up again, not because it's not a good book, but just because I'm gonna get distracted by another book that I have or some other sort, like, I don't want to put it down because I'm afraid I won't pick it back up for another couple months, and I want to finish it. So we're gonna continue reading Icebreaker tonight. Let's go revisit the wonderful world of Icebreaker. Do you ever finish a book and you're just like, So I finished Icebreaker by Hannah Grace last night, and I've yet to even write my Goodreads review on this, which I normally do right after I finish the book. And it's because I don't know how I feel. Shocker, I know. But I can see why people like this book. I can see why people ate this up, and I can see why TikTok took it by storm. It is a really good book. I love the characters. They're amazing. I love the way they interact. And not even just the main couple, but everyone else in this book, how like the friendships work. Other than that one guy, he's a dick. But I can see why people love this so much, but it didn't hit as hard for me. I don't know if this is like a me issue or if it's like as scary as it is to say, am I falling into a book slump? But I feel like every book that I've been reading recently has just been like mid in my mind, and it's really disappointing. Like, I don't think I've rated anything higher than 3.5 stars in like 2 months. No, January I got a 4.5, but it's like, no, all in I got a 4 in January as well. But it's like, I'm not feeling it, like, I'm liking what I'm reading when I'm not giggling and kicking my feet like I normally am at books. Does that make sense? Like, I am, but not in the same way. I don't know how else to explain it other than it did not hit as hard as it should have hit because of how hyped this book was. I think that's one of the scariest things too, is putting your book opinions on the internet, because it's like, I liked it, but not like how y'all like it, because I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, this was a 5-star read for me. I love this romance, so cute, amazing. And even like the people who I watch on YouTube who are, I was gonna say booktubers, is that correct? Booktubers? I don't know. They rated this like 4, and I'm thinking like 3.5, which I know isn't that much lower, but it's like, for me, it's still a significant gap, you know? But I did tab the whole book, like I said I was going to. Like a lot. I just haven't actually put the tabs in yet. I don't know. It didn't hit as hard as it should have hit, and I'm a little bit disappointed, especially because of how much everybody loved this book. C'est la vie. We move on. Now, unfortunately, because I got sick, we only have time to read one more book together, which is actually like traumatizing. Because I had like 5 picked out, and we're only gonna read 3. But it's okay. I'm telling myself it's okay, so I feel like it's actually okay. I don't know if I'm actually okay with this, but we are going to be reading The Roommate Experiment, which is on my Kindle. I did actually start this book last night. I'm not gonna lie to you. It looks like this. Let me get the little cover out for your viewing pleasure. The American Roommate Experiment. I did start this last night. I read the first 2 chapters, and I'm already like, oh, okay. Going into this book, I didn't have any idea what this was about. I just have seen this cover so much on TikTok. And wasn't it like one of the OG TikTok books that everyone was hyping up? I don't know. But I'm like, okay, I can see how people would appeal to this, but I don't know yet. I don't know how I feel. I am going to try to finish this today. Seeing as it's like, what, 450 pages? We're probably not. But I am going to try my very, very best to read that book today. The entirety of it in its whole. Let us go and read The American Roommate Experiment. Hello book people, and good morning. So I know I've already mentioned this in this video, but I got really, really sick last week, Thursday, Friday. It is a new week, and for whatever reason, this illness feels the need to kick people's butt twice. My brother's the one who brought it home, and the same thing happened to him. So, yesterday I was completely dead. I literally felt worse than when I got sick the first time. Like, I think it's the same thing, but it's just like 2 different intervals, and like they feel different, if that makes any sense. Like the first one was mostly a headache, and this one is like I can't fucking breathe. So it's been a couple days since we've talked, and this video is no longer getting on time, but that's okay. If you're wondering why I'm literally dying twice. So I have, because I don't have a headache, I can read our book a little bit. What book are we reading? The American Roommate Experience. Experiments. Have I been saying experiments? I don't know. It's an experiment. I am on chapter 17, I believe. Yeah, chapter 17, which is like, it's 55% of the way through the book, ma'am. And when I'm sick, I actually like can't read. So luckily, Spotify has a free audiobook, so I've been reading along while I traverse the world of Spotify. But I do hope to finish this today. Because I got sick again, and I don't have to upload this video for another week because I hate doing that midweek thing. It drives me nuts. Maybe we will read 1 or 2 more books together. We will see. I'm just throwing it out there. Look, this video was supposed to be super like, oh, I read a book a day for a week, right? And that's kind of what it started out as, and then we ended up here. So, I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear anything. I know it's a little bit messy. We're still reading romance. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. I was dying on Valentine's Day. I don't want to hear anyone complaining. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, sorry. We're gonna go read The American Roommate Experiment. Oh, I didn't share my thoughts on this. You probably want my thoughts. Okay, so 50%-ish. I finally, at chapter 10, I stopped for a while and was like, oh, I should check in because I finally understand what this book is about. Like, I got the premise of it right. Like, because I don't read backs of books. I don't even read blurbs. I'm just like, cute cover. People say it's good. Let me read it. Or it's recommended to me. Let me read it, right? That's how I read, and I don't find many 5-star reads, but hey, I enjoy my reading, and that's all that matters to me. I like this book. Okay. I'm liking it more than Love at 350. I like it more than Love at 350. I feel like there's more chemistry between the characters. I don't think I like it as much as Icebreaker. I think it's because, and I don't know if this is a trope, I'm not very familiar with tropes and
that part of the book realm. But I really liked in Icebreaker how we had all of these side characters who were also like really funny and in on the relationship, and everyone was kind of, living together literally. That's not what this one is. This one is just the two of them, and it's an experiment for Rosie, who's writing a romance novel, which is a really fucking cute premise. Those are my thoughts on the American Roommate Experiment. I am off to go finish the book. Slay! Hello everyone, and welcome to the final consultation on our romance read. So I finished the American Roommate Experiment last night, and let's talk about it. So I knew going into that book that it was not going to be one of the best books I've ever read. It was not going to be a favorite. It was probably just going to be a middle of the road book, because for me, what I have found while reading just 3 romance books with you guys is that I might not be as much of a romance girly as I thought that I was. Nothing against the genre, nothing against the lovely people who were falling in love. I loved that part, right? But I found myself looking for an element of like fantasy, or like someone's gonna kill somebody else, like a fantasy. Like maybe I'm in a fantasy mood. I don't know, but I'm ready to dive into fantasy. Like that's my current vibe right now. And I do just want to put that out there, even though this video has nothing to do with fantasy, because sometimes I feel like my ratings of books, if I'm not in the mood to read them, or like I'm not in the complete mood to read them, it affects the outcome. So rating wise, I'm not here to diss on the books if you like them. I'm not here to say I liked the book if you didn't. Reading is subjective, okay? And for me, American Roommate Experiment was a 3 stars. I have nothing wrong with this book. There were no issues. I think the only thing that felt a little bit weird for me was how the author wrapped up the whole personal problems that Rosie was dealing with her father and her brother. That felt kind of like the author forgot for a couple chapters of, oh, this is happening too, and then just kind of like floated it into the end. I didn't mind. I still think it worked okay, but a little part of me was like, did you forget? Because I forgot, right? Like, no shade against you. I also forgot about family drama, but did you forget? It's okay if you did. I almost gave this book a 3.5. I almost did. But then I'm like, well, no, because I didn't like it as much as Icebreaker. Like I said previously about this book, it doesn't have like a whole bunch of friends who are also in on it and who are like adding to the banter and the communication and the, livelihood of the book. It wasn't there, and that's fine. It's just, I think I really like that in books. And I didn't realize, because that's the first kind of like college romance book I read was Icebreaker. So it is what it is. With all that being said, I know that I briefly talked about picking up a 4th book together. However, because illness came back for round 2, I do not have the time, because this video goes up tomorrow. So, hi everybody. How are you doing? I do wish we got the chance to read more romance books, especially because it was February, but, illness happened. So that's great. It's great. Love it so much. But yeah, unfortunately we only read 3 romance books together in this video, which is a little bit disappointing. I'm thinking maybe we do more romance reads in March, which I know will be a little bit weird, but I still have like 5 of them. Actually, maybe I have a series of 3, and then I have 1 more. No, 2 more. Wow, I have a lot of romance books I wanted to read in February. Guys, that TBR was so ambitious, and I knew that, but with the illness, I've only read 5 books this month, you guys. That's really embarrassing. That's really embarrassing. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking to you about books. You've probably heard enough from me. We're probably at, the 30-45 minute mark? Wow, I talk way too much. You guys have a wonderful week. If there's any books you want to see me read, please let me know. I'm more than willing to look into the worlds that you guys love, because I know books are like, I love books. Love books. You guys, once again, have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Toodaloo, my friends. Toodaloo.